Cars is my background. It's all I've ever done, to be honest. Ended up doing apprenticeship level 1 and 2 vehicle mechanics. Ended up with a placement as a local diesel specialist. My dad's always been into car sales. He had a pitch at the time. Spent a good few years there in the workshop building that up. I got more interested in the selling side of things. So I came out of the workshop and I concentrated more on the sales and all aspects of the business. Close to 12 years. I always wanted to be on my own site, running things my way. So that's what we did. 2016, we moved to our first site. We were there 5 years. Again, started at the bottom. Started with the cheaper stuff. Just trying to climb the ladder a little bit. Building our numbers up. Building our customer base up. But it just took off for us. Then we got the chance to move next door. Nicer place to be. So we boxed that off and it's where we are now, to be fair, yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Dealer Pod, the podcast where we talk to motor trade industry experts nationwide to find out about their businesses and gain any insights that they may have to help you with your car sales operation. My name is Stephen Douglas and I'm joined as always by Scott Sibley and Martin Carr. Today's podcast, as always, is sponsored by Dealerway, the UK's fastest growing platform for motor dealers to trade cars safely and transparently. Now, just before we get going, if you can just do us a quick favour, because we spend a lot of time creating each episode to make it valuable for people like yourself, it'd mean the world to us if you could just hit the like button and subscribe, and also if you could turn the notification bell on as well, so you get notified of all the episodes rather. Just takes 2 seconds, but it helps the podcast get seen by more and more people each week and keeps us going. Right, let's get into it. So today's guest is the owner of MJM Car Sales based in Bishop Auckland. I'm delighted to welcome the podcast, Mr. Martin Miller. Hi Martin, mate, how's it going? You okay?
I'm good, thanks yourself.
Yeah, right. Fantastic, fantastic.
Good stuff,
Martin, before we get going, I've got a bone to pick with you, by the way. You used to, we touched on it before, but yeah, back in the olden days when we used to go to BCA, obviously I didn't really know you, still don't know you, but I'm going to bring it up now. We're going to have a fight before we start. So I think over the years you must have cost me 100 grand.
Maybe a bit more, to be fair. Maybe a bit more.
I would like be bidding for a car thinking I've got that, and then well, who's bidding on this? And look around, where's he? And then see you and I've gone, who's this baldy fucker?
Yeah, back in the good old days when you could get out.
I wish he would fuck off.
It was always the same sort of vehicle as well. It was always like
always the same cars, wasn't it?
The run of the mill, like the Insignias and stuff like that. You see the Insignia, I've been watching Steve and I think he's clocked that one. That's ironic.
But I've noticed you've went a bit up market now, haven't you? You've moved away from that.
Yeah, we try. Yeah, we just try and climb the ladder, really.
Yeah.
It's just what I like to do and what I like to buy. It's what I like to sell. You know, it's just the area we're in, you know, and there used to be a lot of dealers in my area doing the same thing. So just try and not be niche about anything, but just try to climb the ladder and sell the nicer sort of marquees, really. Yeah.
I remember you'd give strong money for cars, mate. Really strong money.
Yeah.
I'm pleased you came on, Martin, because he's been abusing me for every single podcast that gets risen that I ran him up at the auctions, and I was the only person in the whole country to do it. So at least there was somebody else as well.
No, when you weren't there, he was there.
Yeah. I used to pull in the car park and I used to see Scott's vehicle with his I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be expensive to do it.
It's like that, isn't it? You just get to know people who bids on the same cars. You think, he's here.
I often used to see Martin in the coffee shop, would have a coffee and I'd say, let's run Stephen up the day. Let's see if we can get him to cry.
100% that happened.
Right, we'll get cracking with this week in the motor trade anyway before we get going.
This week in the motor trade, brought to you by Autograb.
So this week in the motor trade, brought to you by Autograb. How have we been getting on this week, gents? How you been? Are you been busy, Martin?
This week, yeah. I mean, it's a little quiet. I think when the sun comes out, the customers tend to have other priorities, you know. But we've finished doing where we need to be. Got a couple of irons in the fire. Still on with a couple of bits, but yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. We're not rushed off our feet, but we're not stood still.
Yeah. What about you, Scott?
We had a terrible June. Probably finished about 50 cars where we needed to be.
Nice, yeah.
But we sold 15 on Saturday, so it seems to have turned around. I think we've done 5 or 6 this morning. So
good.
I think,
5 or 6 this morning. Oh, that's great.
So I think it was just a tough month. People were saying that I don't know. They're saying people haven't got the money, but I don't know. They all came out today and bought cars, and they bought loads on Saturday. So I don't know if that is true.
Yeah,
or not.
we hear that a lot in the trade, don't we? But I think if you've got the right car at the right time, you're going to sell it, aren't you? You're going to get somebody for it. You know.
I think it's a big month when people are on holiday and that.
Yeah, I find the weather as well. You know, like we've got lovely weather at the minute up in the northeast, but we tend to when it goes quiet when the sun comes out. You know.
Yeah, we find that everybody goes to the beach, don't they?
Yeah, they go to things similar too.
Brought up some data here that we've been given by AutoGrab, obviously showing the last 6 weeks of total car sales across the country, you know, and you can see that it's been flat, and then a few weeks ago it was starting to pick up again, and we've just had a downshift this last week.
Yeah.
So that's across the board, but my graph would look a lot different to this. Like, I mean, a few weeks ago we were flat, doing nothing, then all of a sudden this past week we've been flat out. So ours would go the other way. Like
around June, just be like a steady month for us. Like an average month, we'd say we finished where we expected to. But breaking no records, we're just quietly getting on with it, you know, and to do what we have to do.
Good stuff.
But,
this is another one. Average days to sell across the last 5 or 6 weeks. As you can see, it's been creeping up, and then all of a sudden it's come down a little bit. So the job's obviously changing a little bit over the past few weeks. So that's good. I'm certainly feeling it.
Yeah, same sort of feedback we've been getting as well.
How's Dealerway been doing this week, Martin? Anything new on the horizon?
Yeah, quite well. I mean, we've had quite a few cars on in sold, but we've just launched a WhatsApp community. So basically everyone can get into the WhatsApp community. We'll post in stuff that are like sort of unsold vehicles where you can stop them or send an offer in. The other one as well is if a car is very close to reserve. I just think obviously WhatsApp, it's there for the people straight away. So we'll see some good returns on that as well.
And we're going to leave a link in the description for people if they want to join that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We'll jump
Anyone
on that,
who wants to join that group. Yeah, good stuff. In today's competitive used car market, staying ahead means finding the right stock at the right price every time. I use AutoGrab to do exactly that. With endless listings and constant market shifts, it's tough to know what's worth chasing, but AutoGrab cuts through the noise. Their platform shows me where the value is, lets me filter for high margin stock, and alerts me when the right cars hit the market. If you want better margins and smarter sourcing, head to autograb.co.uk today. Make sure you mention DealerPod when signing up to get 25% off your first 3-month subscription. So, Martin, I think we'll jump into you then. Can you just tell a little bit about yourself, what your background is, how you got into the motor trade,
I think
the full story?
Cars, it's my background. It's all I've ever done, to be honest. It's since I've been around cars, since I've been knee-high, to be fair. Finished school. I didn't really pay attention the last couple of years at school. Didn't want to be there. Ended up doing an apprenticeship. I think it was like a City and Guilds thing at the time, like level 1 and 2 vehicle mechanics. I did that for a few years. Ended up with a placement as a local diesel specialist. I was there for, I think it was 4 years. Left there, and my dad's always been into car sales. He had a pitch at the time. So I left a diesel specialist, set up workshop on my dad's side. He was selling sort of the cheaper end of the market at the time. And I've always been interested in it, like fixing things, and it's where I really started, really. Spent a good few years there in the workshop, building that up, and I got more interested in the selling side of things. So I was dealing with more customers. So I came out of the workshop. We employed a mechanic at the time, and I concentrated more on the sales and all aspects of the business. Did that for, it must have been close to 12 years. And then I always wanted to be on my own site, running things my way. So that's what we did. 2016, we moved to our first site. We were there 5 years. Again, started at the bottom, started with the cheaper stuff, you know, just trying to climb the ladder a little bit. We're on there 5 years, building our numbers up, building our customer base up. Where did we go after that? COVID, which sort of was unknown. We were thinking, which way is this going to go? But it just took off for us. It just took off. You know, we concentrated on the job whilst we were closed. And once the doors opened, that was it. Off, you know, usually I imagine being the same. Once we open again. And on that site for 5 years, then we got the chance to move next door. Next door at the time was, pre-COVID, was a main dealer site. It was a Isuzu franchise, which is the site we're in now. Didn't work for them for whatever reason. Stood empty a while. And coming out of COVID, when we were really busy, we had discussions of moving next door. It was a bigger site, nicer place to be. So we boxed that off, and it's where we are now, to be fair, yeah.
I've drove past your site 2 or 3 times.
I was going to say, there must be the bottom of the hill at the petrol station.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know where you are, yeah.
I've drove past it a few times. It looks well. It's nice, nice sign.
It's a nice place to be, yeah.
You've obviously kept it nice as well. The signage looks good and that. It's presented well. It looks like you do a good job there. Like, really good. It's nice.
It's on a decent A road as well.
It's really busy road, yeah. It's really busy road.
Very
good
busy
location.
Yeah.
But the site was sort of, when I took it on, it was a little run down. It's been empty a while.
Yeah.
It was a little run down, so we spent a few quid just to move next door, in a sense. Just try to, and then again, try to have the better stock and keep pushing on, really, yeah.
Have you still got the site next door?
We just purchased it, believe it or not. Yeah, we just, this month, managed to purchase our old site, which is, you can't really see on here, but that's it there, the picture there. That's where we started, yeah. So we've managed to buy the site next door.
The site, the showroom we're in, do you own that one, or is that?
I don't, I leased the showroom, yeah. Yeah, I leased the showroom, yeah.
Did Phillips, was that a Philip Wilk site years ago?
It was one of his, it was one of his sites, yeah.
Right.
I believe Philip sold out, I think he sold about 8 sites at the time with his fuel stations. Yeah. To the first company who I leased my previous site from.
Right.
And that business was sold during COVID to an energy company who own it now. And it was them who I was discussing with to move next door and take on the bigger site, yeah.
What does your operation look like now then, Martin? How many staff you got?
We've got 7 staff, including myself. There's 7 of us. We've got 2 valeters, sales exec, and my wife's on sales as well as admin and things like that, yeah.
You're brave, like having your wife come to work with you.
It does work well, to be honest. I don't see much of it during the day.
Well, it definitely works well then.
Yeah. I can concentrate on the buying side of things. I lead the sales too, obviously, salesman and my wife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you find, Martin, that you're more on holiday than that you actually are at work?
Yeah, I try to be. I do try to be.
You're away a lot, aren't you?
I've noticed on his Facebook, like, there's a lot of holiday photos going on, isn't there?
Yeah. That's my switch off, to be honest. I'll come to work and do what I want to do. And the only time I set switch off is when I'm away. So hence the holidays, yeah.
You look like you've just been away as well. You've got a bit of a tan there.
That was a beer garden yesterday. So out all day.
There you go.
And what about stock level, Martin? How many did you stock?
We stocked beside boards around 50. I think we sat from his mid 40s at the minute. Yeah, we can hold 50 on site.
So are you expanding into your old site?
No. I'm quite happy with the stock level I've got, to be honest, Scott.
Right.
Yeah, right. But I'm trying to just climb the ladder a little bit with some nicer bits and pieces, you know. Right. So when we bought next door, we had to tail it off a little bit, just for the funds to buy next door, to be honest. The vendor really pushed for a completion date, so it sort of put us in a position where if we want to own it, we need to pull it out of our own pocket and buy it, you know. But I'm hoping in the near future I can pull something back out of that and I can push on a little bit.
And what's the plans for using next door then if you're not gonna use it straight away?
I'm probably just going to lease it out, but for the time being.
Right.
I've just bought it as like a future investment, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't plan on. A lot of people have said, "Why don't you put another 30 cars?" But that site next door.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the way I thought you were going to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll hold 30, 35 cars next door, but you know yourself, it's staffing it and controlling it, and I still haven't got where I want to be with this site just yet. I don't want to sort of dilute it down and go back over. If that makes sense.
Where do you want to be with the site that you've got?
Similar sort of stock level, like unit wise, but just push it up a little bit, you know, maybe it's a bit more expensive stuff. We'll see. Maybe buy that Lambo from you, Stephen.
This mysterious Lambo that doesn't exist,
He says that to everybody, you know, he's playing hard to get.
But just keep trying to grow the profile, really. But as for the site, so yeah, for the leases, I'm put it one side for now.
Do you enjoy selling the more expensive car as well? nicer looking car, with all the extras on and stuff.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time trying to buy it. If you can imagine, you can't just go and buy 5 or 6, 7 of them a day. It takes a lot of time. But we tend to try and stack a better deal for us with the more expensive stuff. Like, as in, we've recently just sold the X3M competition. We could have sold that, from putting it live, we could have sold that car within 48 hours at least 3 or 4 times. So rather than just washing it straight out the door, we hung back a little bit and just stacked the deal to suit us. Like, we wanted the part exchange on that car. We wanted the finance on that car. And it turned, that's what we ended up with, We ended up with a better deal for us.
What do you say to the customer who wants to pay cash?
We started to try and qualify the customer, really. And we just, if it says, I'm a cash buyer, I better come for it today, I'll hold back a little bit. Look, it's on hold at the moment. We'll just drop that in, Just try and buy us a little bit of time.
Yeah, like choose your customer.
And sure enough, we stacked a better deal on it, We can be, rather than just selling it straight out, we could make 2 or 3 times more waiting for the part exchange and the finance, And that's not every car we sell. That's just you can sort of gauge with
certain ones that you're going to sell.
Certain ones, yeah. And it seems to work. I'm sure you'll be getting more and more of it. I'll be honest with you, with the better stock.
And how much was that for? How much did you sell that for?
I think that one was about 44 grand. I think it was.
And what sort of commission are you getting out of that?
I think off the top of my head, Stephen, I think we ended up with 1,600 quid out of it, plus the part exchange, which we had a lump across that as well.
Yeah, they're the ones they're the nice ones to do.
I've got one in stock. It's mine's 41.5. Your 2 customers. Would you send them up to me, please?
Yeah.
The spares.
Yeah.
I don't want the cash need bit one though. He can go somewhere else.
Hold on. So you're telling me Martin's had one BMW M3 competition for sale. Is it an M3 competition? Is that what you're saying?
It was an X3M competition.
X3M competition.
Yeah.
And he could have sold it 3 times, but the Northeast number 1, Scott Sibley,
yes,
has had yours how long?
About 4 weeks.
All right. Strange that. Where did this self-proclaimed Northeast number 1 come from then? Because, with results like that, I'm not sure you can keep that title.
Well, what it was, I think it was when we won that award. And I said to you, I says, see, when Northeast number 1, that was in the BCA days about 8 years ago. And then when we won another award, like the national, I says, I'm UK number 1 now. But it was more just to wind up Stephen, which I used to do every Tuesday. Me and Maz, yeah. And it used to really niggle him as well. I'd say, one day, Stephen, one day.
One day.
Hey, we're close.
So we have been working on that. Lately, we have been trying to work on the deal that suits us, rather than just washing them out the door. So,
yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense.
Well, it'd be lovely to do that with every vehicle, but we're not at that position, Well,
especially when it takes you so long to buy the car as well, and to find to source that car. If there's lots of dealers who stack them high and sell them cheap and work on volume turnovers, and that works. But there's certain aspects, like yourself. You've only got like 40, 50 cars around you. You've got to make those deals.
You've got to make every space count.
You've got to extract everything from them.
That's it. Yeah, you just try and pull out of every deal everything you can,
But it's sometimes working smarter that way rather than, all right, I've took this picture on next door, I'm going to fill it full of 30, 40 more cars. I'm going to sell double the amount of cars. But what you got left at the end of it, you mightn't be any better off, and you've just got to create a load more work and a load more hassle.
I'd rather just put that to one side for now and still concentrate on what we've got here, get it to where we want to be.
And what about, Martin, advertising platforms? Where do you advertise your stock?
Auto Trader is the main one. Up until recently, that's been the only platform we've been paying for.
Right.
We've recently dropped back onto Motors, eBay.
Was that a trial or are you unpaid?
We did a month free trial, and then they offered us a package, which was, it's peanuts compared to Auto Trader. And we are getting leads from it. We are getting leads. You've got to sift through sort of a lot of leads. You get more eBay, sorry. But you do sell cars of it. Yeah. We've sold a couple of bits of it since we've been on.
Which package are you on Auto Trader?
I've just reduced it. It actually goes live in the next 4 days. I've just checked. We dropped back to starter.
Yeah, I've just changed mine down to starter.
Yeah. We were in the middle one. We dropped it back.
Mad the amount that people have.
Yeah. And we saved I don't know, I think it's saving me maybe £1,400 a month just to drop back to starter.
We went from standard to starter, and it saved, I think it was about $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
And then we reduced our stock as well. And that was about $3,000 a month. I think we saved about 60 grand a year.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, yeah.
Well, they put, the price increase went up, and I just thought, I just, you got your limits and things like that. And so I think the price increase was something like 900 quid or $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So it was going to be another 12 grand a year ish. So I just reduced it and then dropped the package. So in effect, Auto Trader, I suppose, unfortunately, they're worse off by about 40 odd grand, really. Because of the price increase. Because had they not put the price increase in, I wouldn't have bothered looking at it. But I think, and obviously in the car sales dealer group, there was quite a few dealers that were all, looking to either reduce the stock or try and make a saving for it. Because it's still a good.
Yeah, I was reading that. Yeah. I'd say over the last 6 months, we've actually started selling cars from TikTok. Which we've never ever done before.
I was going to ask you this, Martin.
Never done before. Yeah. So our social side stuff. Yeah, we've been trying to grow it, and it is. We're getting customers in now. So, I've seen that car on TikTok, which I've never had before.
And what do you do? Just put a video on TikTok?
I employ somebody who does looks after the website, takes all my pictures. He takes care of all my socials, and he puts things like reels together and things like that. Just things that catch people's attention. It might not be selling that specific car, but it might be something about the car or something like that. And people sharing it around, and we are starting to sell cars. I think, yeah.
I think it's a role now within the trade that you need to have in your dealership, like a social media expert.
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely
because cost.
We've done it for, I'd say, I think Jack's been with us now 6 months, and we've definitely seen an increase in customers coming through the door which haven't seen the car on Auto Trader or Google or whatever, So it seems to be going in the right direction. Yeah. The YouTube, I don't know, Scott's released his YouTube. That's been on our mind. I'm just trying to put the courage to go in front of the camera, to be honest. But
I hear anything like that.
Well, this is going to help.
This is going to help.
Yeah, it does. It does help. Yeah, because even doing these, back when we first started, Stephen was suggesting this, and I was like, it's not really my cup of tea going on.
It's the same for me.
On a thing, But after a while, you forget it's getting recorded, and you end up just having a chat between the four of us. So you zone out after a while. But when I did, when we launched the YouTube, it was. Yeah, the thought of going on the camera and trying to, do it. But obviously, we've got quite a decent sized team, so everybody's going to play their role in it.
It looks good.
They'll just chip in. So
I think that will help. I definitely do think that will help, and I think you will. Get customers from it. Yeah.
Well, that's the main goal. It's the main goal is trying to get customers, to come to the workshop, the body shop, or even buy cars or sell them to us. That's the main focus around it. But I've been looking at it for a while, because there's some people doing it and some people do it better than others, and just trying to take little cherry bits from the people who do it well.
That's it, and just trying to personalise it yourself.
It is just it's making your own thing, isn't it? I suppose there's no rule book.
But we looked at that. Old Stephen doesn't use Auto Trader. I was thinking about Auto Trader. I said, surely Auto Trader can't take any more from us when you think about it. I mean, how are we at the point now where Auto Traders they've probably peaked? With the way the social media is coming through so fast now and growing so quick, has Auto Trader peaked? I don't know.
I think it's definitely seen its best day. I mean, I know they're making ridiculous amounts of profits, but I think its best days are definitely behind it, unless it totally pivots and creates its own sort of social platform for cars or something. Because I've said it a million times on here. Everybody's attention is on their mobile phones, they'll go on to Auto Trader, but they're spending more time on Facebook, more time on TikTok, more time on YouTube. That's where you've got to put your business in front of people. And some people say to me, but people aren't necessarily actively looking for cars. And I'm saying, but it's not about like being there at the right time with the exact car. It's about putting yourself in somebody's mind. So when they do come to the point where they want to buy a car, they'll remember you, or they'll see another one of your videos and think, I like their videos before, let's have a look at them. And then when they're in that buying mode, they'll then look through your stock list or look through all your other videos that you've got uploaded to Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, and it's presented in a totally different way, a social sort of media way, and they think, they're the people for us. And I think it's changing rapidly.
Where they haven't seen the car, they've been sent it on TikTok. So the friends seen it before they are. Oh, my friend sent us this. Can I come and see it?
I I think sometimes you'll catch people where you put a car on social media at somebody and they're not in the, they're not in the, what's the word, the area to buy a car, or they're not even thinking about buying a car for maybe it's 2 months, and maybe saying, I might get one in August or September, but then they see this car and they're like, wow, look at that, I never considered one of those, and then all of a sudden you get the deal on where that person wasn't going to go on Auto Trader and look for a car because they're not going to look until September time.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like the olden days where people used to just go out on a Saturday and they'd go around all different pitches and they'd see all different cars. They'd be like you get a lot more walk-ins 10, 15 years ago than you ever get now.
Yeah.
But it's sort of digitizing that, isn't it? People aren't having to go around forecourts. They're watching videos of dealers and saying, "Oh, look at that car! I've never thought about one of them." Like you just said. I mean, we've just employed our own social media content person. He's a videographer and he's going to start getting on camera as well soon. But he's currently like shooting all the new content and he's taking photographs of the cars. We're trying to get it all right. We're trying to get like a good format so it's like repeatable.
Yes.
But like what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna play this video. This is the first video that he's produced, right? So see what you think of this. So this is a video that he's just done on a Focus that we've had in stock a while. We've had it re-cleaned, and this is to go on our website. It's stuff like that. That's not been done before until the last few years.
Last week, Stephen, we're talking about number plates. Number plates, 2 rusty screws on the number plate.
I've had the internal discussion about it, especially with these videos. Yes, I know. I'm on it. I'm on it. There's another £300-400 a month that's going to cost us.
You might not, don't put really easy on the bottom. If you do the cars really nice, you can put Red Gate Lodge on.
Yeah, but you see, there's a lot of effort went into making something like that. But
it's time consuming. It is time consuming.
And we've spent a lot of time trying to find the right person. I think this guy's really good, and I mean that may not be the format that we'll follow, but it's just something that it's the first thing he's produced. And like when as a consumer myself looking for products now, I mean I've obviously never went to used car places to look for a car, but I look at that and think actually these people are serious. Like they've put some effort into it. If he's putting something like that together now before he's really got into it,
he should do well because you do grow with it. You pick up things and you change things. And it's like different themes that's coming out or things that's in current.
The problem I've got with it, he's making the cars look that good. That Focus isn't as nice as what it looks like on that video. You sell that car and the customer turns up in the car and it's like, hold on, is this the same car? That's the problem with it. But yeah, so we've currently got him doing that, and again, it's an extra expense, it's an extra cost of the business. But I just, that age-old thing. Well, if he sells 1 extra car or 2 extra cars a month, then he's paid for himself.
Covered,
And that's the idea behind it.
I think moving forward, I think it's going to be essential in the business. I do. I think something like that, like somebody taking over your social media side of things. So I think if you're not on there, you're losing all those opportunities. And it's growing every day. It is growing every day.
Mm-hmm. I think it works for your type of stock as well, though, Martin, because obviously I was looking on your socials this morning and I can't remember what car it was, but it was a souped up car and it had big exhaust and it had all the kit on. It was an Audi, I think. Yeah. But your video guy was doing like a walk around of it, but he was zooming into certain points and he was doing the voiceover on it. And it's good, people want, that's what they want. They want to consume that. A couple of pictures on Auto Trader doesn't do it justice.
Not the same.
Doesn't do it anymore,
No, definitely not. And I think the car you mentioned, I think we sold that this weekend off socials.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Do you ever boost your socials?
I haven't spent any money on it at the minute, Martin. No, it's something I've thought about, but at the moment I haven't spent a penny on it. No, all I've spent is employing the lad to take care of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if it's working for you for the time being, and you're not really wanting to ramp the volume of business up, I wouldn't invest in that yet. I would just keep putting it out organically if it's working.
That's what we're trying to
Plus
do.
you're training the algorithm. You're training the algorithms to know the type of people to show your cars to anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But we know we spent nothing on it. We just put them on our page. We've got Instagram, obviously TikTok, and it just goes out to them, and we don't spend on it. No.
And does your lad just manage it all himself? You don't have to get involved. He just does it all.
Yeah, I used to do all the pictures, the videos, the text for the adverts, things like that. But obviously, I'm that busy now trying to buy the cars. I pass it over to young Jack, and he takes care of all that now. Yeah, the lads will prep it, give Jack a shout, and he does his thing.
A quick message from our sponsors, Dealerway. Attention, Dealer Pod listeners. Do you want a better, quicker, more profitable way of trading out of your part exchanges or overage stock? List your cars on Dealerway today and connect with over 2,000 vetted trade buyers actively looking for vehicles. No hidden fees, no hassle. Start your own custom auctions from your desk or the palm of your hand in our game-changing app. Or advertise your stock on quick, easy, buy it now listings to our eager buyers who are waiting to quickly acquire vehicles. What are you waiting for? Join Dealerway today at dealerway.co.uk and streamline your disposals. Where are you buying your stuff from then, Martin? Or you don't want to give that away?
A lot of it's BCA still. A lot of it's on there.
Yeah.
I do look at the other auction houses, but I just tend to find they don't have the selection BCA does. For the type of car I'm looking for.
Is that the sale what goes through? Is it down as Top Car, Martin? That like sale what they do it?
Yeah, Top Car on Thursday. Yeah.
And do you get to see who the vendors is, or do they all just go into Top Car?
Some do. Some put the vendors on, but then some of them will list just as Top Car. Yeah.
But it's on a Thursday.
It's on Thursday. Yeah.
So if you had something like a Defender and it would say like, I don't know, 60 grand, what kind of margin are the dealers working on something like that? Is it still a tight margin and looking at back end stuff, or are you getting a lump out for 60 grand?
No, it depends on the specification, to be honest. It depends on the options. The higher the spec, obviously, you throw the book away with that Top Car sale. You just throw the book away, Yeah.
And what's the, an Auto Trader where you get like the good, great and high price and that, what is it, 50,000 and above you don't get the price markers?
Yeah, and they still on my stuff, the price markers, yeah. I've still got the price markers.
Oh, they really?
Yeah.
We usually sit
I've not heard that.
No.
Yeah, we've still got the price markers. And we're usually sitting around about 30 high on the price markers.
I was looking when Stephen got his Lamborghini, the Lamborghinis don't have the price markers on them.
Do they not?
So they must cap out at a certain one, yeah. Yeah, certain level.
Scott, we'll put this to bed now. I couldn't fit in a Lamborghini. I certainly couldn't get out of one.
I didn't bring it up. It was Martin brought it up, wasn't me.
You brought your street lights up.
But go back to margins. Some of our best margins is in our part exchanges, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's 70 grand.
Are you taking in nice part exchanges you can go again with? With the nicer cars, you can tend to find you get a better swap with.
Well, as I say, with the place next door, it would be perfect fitting for a business expansion.
Yeah,
what you've got now automatically feeding,
just feeding next door.
A bit like what Scott, what Scott's got with Select.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that could definitely be. If I wanted to really ramp the numbers up, that would be great. But I'm all right at where I'm at with 50. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. Try and replace. Obviously, I haven't got buyers. I do it all myself. I haven't finished where I want to be with MJM just yet. I want to concentrate on climbing the ladder a little bit more, with where we are.
You're saying you're going to increase your stock, as in the retail value. So are you about, what would be your average price at the moment? Would you say about 25,000 per unit, or are you more than that at the moment?
I think the cheapest car, we've got at the minute, is about 10-ish. The most expensive is about 50.
Right. And what would you like to see that increase to, like 70s or something?
Yeah, I'd like to maybe push on to a bit newer stuff. Yeah, up to sort of 70s, 80Ks maybe. We've sold 100 grand cars before,
Right. And what about, the stock from BCA? Because obviously it's the more expensive stuff what you're getting from that Top Car. Have you had any horror stories from any of those, or do you find they're normally all right?
Touch wood, I've had a few bits and pieces, but the majority are usually okay. But it's like anything else. It's luck of the draw. It's the prep in this sort of, in the higher end stuff. It's a lot more expensive. Expensive. We've ordered a set of tyres this morning for a vehicle, the X4, I think it is. I think it's just shy of $1,000 to us for a set of tyres.
Yeah. You never tried Motorway and Carwow and some of those?
I do look at Motorway. I've had a few bits of Motorway, but I find it hard. The owner Motorway. I think some of that high spec stuff, It just runs away.
All right, well,
Right.
you just answered me quick. I would have thought a
Respect.
motorway that you know would have been easier to buy, like the heavier cars, you know. But I suppose if you know if they're high spec and there's loads of people bidding on them, yeah, maybe it does run. The prices do run away.
If you go on motorway and search, I know you can do like price high, below, distance, things like that, but you can actually search on bids, number of bids.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And the number at the highest bids is usually the most desirable stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course.
I've found anyway.
You know where you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that being the case, like for like, would you say BCA for the same car, if you could find, I know it's difficult to have two cars the same, but a very, very similar car, would you think the hammer price at BCA would be less than motorway?
Not necessarily. BCA is it's more convenient. It's easier to use. It's less time consuming.
Right.
But it falls back to having the stuff in place to pull me away to do my buying, you know.
With the buy-in, do you not feel as though
it's more time consuming?
Do you not feel as though this newfangled way of buying, where everyone's just bidding online now, as opposed to the days when we used to bid each other up at the auctions? Do you not feel as though you're just tied to your computer all the time? Because I feel as though I'm just sat at this desk 24/7 looking at cars.
Forever on my phone and just on the desktop, just looking all the time. Yeah,
it's just constant in it, and then you spend loads of time researching a car, and the car comes and you're like 600, 700, 800 quid away from it. You're like, freaking hell. You know, just waste of time. There's another one.
That brings us back to why we just don't, certain cars, we won't just sell it out the door, you know, we won't just send it on.
Well, exactly, yeah, makes sense.
We'll try and pick a deal that stacks for us.
Because it's hard to get, it's difficult to acquire some of these cars and sell them for a certain price, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Customers don't understand that either.
No. Every other day we're getting it. We'll have something advertised and the customer coming, I want to buy that for cash. How much can you knock off it? You know? We're not interested in selling them.
That's no good. Nah, don't want that.
And they struggle to get their head around it. They think they're the upper hand because they walk in cash sale, no part exchange. We're just trying to educate them. That's not what we're looking for, you know. You've got more chance of getting a better deal if you bring something tasty.
Schofield tried to educate punters with that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Get yourself down, make it easier for them, just cash no bits. Absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. It's not like that now. No, it's not. Definitely not.
What were you going to say, Scott?
I can't remember now.
Oh, you can't remember now.
Must have been a lie.
Must have been making that one up, were you?
Yeah, maybe a lie.
Yeah, advertising. All we're paying for is Auto Trader, and we've just trialled the eBay. We'll see how that goes over the next 6 months. See how it goes.
I did some workings out on Auto Trader. This was before I went on holiday, because I rang my account manager, because I said to Craig, who's great, and I says, you know, if I drop down to this starter package, from standard, you know, if somebody puts into Auto Trader a BMW in a certain mile radius, would they still see my car? And he says, yeah. He says, but your car will appear further down in the feed, because everybody above you is going to be, you know, like the Ultra package and all these different packages. So I trialed it on a couple of cars, but what I put 50 miles radius, which I think is like the sweet spot, and I put a BMW 3 Series, and I did price between 10 and 20,000 of where we are in Newcastle. So 124 cars appeared in Newcastle of that search. I did Manchester as well, so I did the centre of Manchester, and I thought, well, I wonder what volumes they've got in Manchester, because obviously there's more population. So for that car, there was 1,208 BMWs appeared, and I did Car Giants postcode in London, and that brought up 1,194. And then I thought, well, I'll put the year in, so I did the year 2014 to 2020. I put miles 40k to 80k, and I put gearbox auto, because you're probably going to have a 3 Series BMW automatic, and that reduced it down. So Newcastle was 62 cars, Manchester was 227, London was 263. I put the colour in, which was black. That brought it down to 12 in Newcastle, 45 in Manchester, 75 in London, and then I put diesel in. So diesel had actually reduced it down to 8 in Newcastle. But then out of the 8, there was 3 cars which was appearing twice. So they must have had the Ultra package, so your car appears more.
Yeah.
And then there was another 3 which were market extension, because obviously you don't get the town where it says it where it is, so they must have bbeen somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So if you take all those out, it was leaving like 4 or 5 cars on that search, which meant for us, you know, if you know, it made sense for me to reduce the package. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to reduce the package if you're like in London or Manchester, because there's going to be more cars in that group area. But where we are, obviously in the northeast, there's no reason, to based on where your car's going to appear in the
This
search.
is a conversation I had with my account manager. He was saying, well, your cars aren't going to be on the first page. You're going to lose views and things like that. I thought, wait, the type of stuff we're trying to sell, they're not individual, but they've just got that little bit something about them. And
I don't think it matters with your cars.
Yeah, that was my argument. He says, we'll just see how it goes.
It's not just that though. They all the talk there is purely on relevance. So when they say with the drop down, it's on relevance. If your car's in price order, which is what most people tend to, they'll either search in price order for monthly payment or price order for the actual the price of the vehicle. No matter where your car's going to sit exactly where it's meant to sit.
I mean, looking at these cars that you've got there, Martin. I mean that there isn't going to be many.
That was my argument. I think where if somebody's looking in the northeast for orange M2, you'd be looking if there's two. There won't be many at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So why be on like an ultra package and super duper, extras when people will find that car anyway.
Yeah.
If you're looking for one of them, you'll find that.
You'll find that car. Yeah.
Because I'd imagine a lot of your people will have an idea of what they want to buy. If at the end of the day, my customers, if right, I want to buy an Insignia, I want to buy a Focus, and there'll be thousands of them that they could look at. But with your stuff,
there's not much of it around. Yeah.
Even that, I want to buy an M135.
You're going to search it on your Auto Trader. You're going to put BMW 3 Series M1, or 1 Series, and your M2. You're going to search for an M2. But I know what you're saying, Martin. You're saying about sometimes they'll go for a payment. But I think like for a cash car and things like that, they might do. But for the selective stuff, they'll use the filters. They'll know they want to buy an Audi, or they know they want to buy a Merc, or
Yeah.
Just a quick one. I'm obviously looking at the photos there. Your front your front and back. Do you ever find putting the non-registration number on as a hindrance, or what benefit do you see putting the MGM on the plates?
There was a couple of reasons I did that. One was one of the main ones was I was finding my car. Going back on social media, I was finding my cars appearing on these owners forums. People asking for previous owners, anyone know anything about the car, which I don't mind. But there was one guy who was on one of the BMW pages. He must sit and study BCA, and he said, just for the BCA for X amount, certain dates, certain miles, and whatever. I thought, Jesus Christ, he's pulled all that from my registration number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started covering the plates.
Madness. Yeah. I think obviously people with insurance quotes and stuff like that. And
I think the only thing you're missing there is the preparation and support fee of $199. That would do you really good.
That's on my notes to ask, to be honest. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. See how you get on with it. I've started charging a fee for third-party lenders. That seems to be going well. I've had no complaints with that yet.
Right.
We do that. We introduced that last not January this year, last year. We've had quite a few. We increased ours to $399 because there's obviously a VAT element as well. But
$499. $495. Sorry, we've been charging, and if they want the car, they're paying for it. Finance, some of the sports and prom stuff, they're very rate conscious. Sorry, there's them like oracles and things like that. Said, we'll give you like 4.9s and 5.9s. We selling it start at 9.9, and they say, we'll just fund it ourselves. Well, that's where that fee comes in, and they still pay it. If they want the low rate, they'll pay the 495 fee. Just gives us something back out the deal.
Do you not think with these newfangled sort of like middlemen, the brokers who are, I mean, don't get us wrong, they're advertising heavily for the applications, for the leads, they're generating the leads themselves and they're working for the commissions in the middle, but they seem to be hated by dealers, mind. Dealers don't like dealing with them, they're taking profits out of our mouths. No, and I just think that business model, is it going to survive? Because especially with all this FCA stuff on the horizon, with these court cases due about the missold finance, is it going to affect that business model? Does that, if that sort of hits the wall, is that going to make a change in car dealers' finance rates as well? I don't know. I'm not sure how long that business model is going to last.
No,
I was talking to a lender this morning, and they said that if a consumer goes down the road of one of those. What they're called, these like finance,
like online broker.
No, like to put a claim in.
All right, an ambulance chase claim company. Yeah,
one of those. And they're saying if they do that, then they've got to stick with that route. So they couldn't then go to the lender and say, right, well, I need that. And what they're finding out is that the people who's doing the claim for them is probably taking half of what they got. So say they were hypothetically due, say they were due £1,000. So they're getting 500 quid. The claims company's getting 500 quid. But if they'd went direct to the lender and done it properly, they would have 1,000 quid if they were eligible. And also, I think there's a new court ruling coming out in next month in July where what the courts are saying is they're wanting the consumers, if they've got a problem, to go to the lender direct and say, saying you got a problem with us, well, tell us what it is, and don't go to these claims companies because they're just taking money from the consumer what they were due.
So just jump on the barrel.
The law, they're doing like a change in the law.
Well, it's just PPI 2.0, isn't it? That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is, you know. And I actually know someone who had one of those PPI companies and made an absolute fortune.
I'm sure I read somewhere that all this claim back type thing, you don't have to do anything now. The lender will just automatically refund it if you're due.
I'd heard something like that as well.
Yeah, if it's a legitimate mistake what's being made, and the lender's made a mistake, they'll just they sort it out. They've all put money away because of it. But apparently, when I speak to the finance reps and all that, and they'll say, I was in court this week and I went here and we won this, we won that, and they're winning like loads and loads of cases, and it's obviously costing them thousands to necessarily fight them, all the admin what goes with them, the whole lot. But it's not black and white by any means. There's a they're paying out on a few where there's been a general mistake, but in some more cases than not, they're not paying out, and people are going to court and they're coming away with nothing.
Right.
I'm not sure how long the online broker model is going to last with all that sort of on the horizon as well. So I think there might be a change in that because everyone, like you were saying before, everyone must be charging the fees, charging them back the fees. Well, if you're going to charge me a fee, I'm going to have to charge the customer fee.
Back,
and that isn't the best outcome for a consumer, which is what the FCA want. The FCA want the best outcome for a consumer, and they're putting barriers up for it. So how long that's going to last, I don't know. So we might see a move away from getting loads of calls from the agents and reps. Half the time when you get calls off them and they say, I've got this man approved or whatever, the deals don't come off anyway. They get you to jump through hoops and then they get to payout stage and it falls by the way,
We started, we wouldn't invoice till we had a deposit from the customer. Which to give us a bit of confidence in the deal, We find we're spending time sending invoices off, value on part exchanges, putting figures together, and then you just don't hear from them again, Especially when you run a small team, it takes a chunk out of your day.
There was a company a couple of weeks back in Manchester, wasn't there, who were ringing dealers and going, take the car off sale for his customers having it, blah blah, and they've done away with all the money, so they've got customers paid out on the deals. Took the money in, not transferred it over to the dealerships, and just shut up shop and gone.
Just shut up.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah.
How do they think they're not going to get caught though? Someone's going to get caught for
Millions.
Mad, isn't it?
Scary.
Got to have balls of steel to try that.
Yeah.
Must have thought it through.
I was speaking to a lender the other day, and they've been caught out, and they had people who had cars on funding, and they would say that the car's still in stock. But they had a similar car, so they had the number plates off the car what was sold and gone, put onto the car what they still have in stock, just swap the plates. So when the auditor came round and checked the regs,
it looked like
their car was still in stock, but it wasn't that sold them, and they'd done off for the money. But they were proper dealers who's been operating for years.
I wonder what goes through people's minds, don't you?
Madness.
Aye.
So I think when they're doing the audits now, they're going to go off chassis numbers as well as logbooks and registrations and things like that.
So, Martin, in your business then, is there anything that keeps you up at night? Is there anything that you struggle with? Any sort of pain points?
I think for us, it's the preparation process is so slow. We don't we prep the vehicles really high, so it's time consuming just turning them around. We've always got to overflow. I think we've got mid-40s advertised now, but I know we've got at least a dozen waiting for prep. Waiting to come through. I won't photograph them till they're prepped.
Till they're finished.
Yeah.
And do you have your own people doing that in-house or just someone else?
Yeah. We have 2 valeters in-house. Yeah.
No, but like the mechanical work?
Yeah, we've got our own mechanics, yeah. We have a 3-ramp workshop. We've got 1 mechanic.
Right.
To be honest, one of the ramps is used for just wheel refurbs. they'll go on that ramp, it's wheel refurbs, and the other two, one mechanic will work between the two, you know.
Right.
But,
and that's your biggest sort of thing that you need to sort of work. Would it not improve if you took an extra mechanic on, do you think?
yeah, it's not so much the mechanical, it's the sort of the cleaning and wheel refurb, things like that, you know, that takes the time. You know, just speed up. I'm actually thinking about advertising for another man, to be fair, to join the team on prep, just try and speed it up a little bit. Because when you're selling the more expensive cars, it's a lot of money sat there doing nothing until you get it on the internet, you know.
Yeah.
And I know I've got cars there now. I've had at least 2, maybe 3 weeks, and they're still there. You know, they're still waiting for prep.
In 3 weeks' time, like a $50,000 Land Rover, someone could have dropped $1,000 in the book.
That's it. Yeah, quite easily. Yeah.
And if you've got 4 or 5 of them, you may as well have took another Balter on, because the Balter's wages wouldn't have cost what it would have dropped in the book.
That's right. Well, yeah, preparation. Really, just trying to. It's the same old. We like stuff sort of somewhere near ready to drive away. We're trying to fill your forecourt and have every car like that. There's a lot of work with both. A lot of work. Yeah.
Cool. This is well where you are as well. You've got to travel everywhere to get out of sort of prep wise, and it's quite sporadic in terms of where it is.
That's right. Yeah. We just
there's not a lot around you.
No, not at all. Like Teesside's 25 minutes away. You know. Durham, that's the same. It's 20 minutes away. So everything is sort of spread out. So it's time consuming. Yeah.
And do you find that because of the types of cars that you sell, because you're like sort of smack bang in the middle of a city centre and you're a bit out the way, do you find most of the stuff that you sell online is all from further away than you get people coming from all over the country?
We do, yeah. I would say we are maybe 50-50 local people and people that travel for some of this stuff, yeah.
Do you deliver?
I don't, no. I did a little bit during COVID. I put my toe into the water with this. It was pretty successful during the COVID, but I prefer the customers to come and see what they're actually going to own, you know, come and have a look at it, especially on this sort of stuff. Last thing I want to do is send a 30-40 grand car to London and turn around and say, actually, we don't want this. It's got to come back, you know.
No, we don't want it.
I'd rather they come up. We'll text from train station, airports, things like that.
And do you miss any sales out of, not delivering to people? Say, I want that car, will you deliver it to London? Or
no, but you can't just convince them to come up, you know. We just try and convince them to come up. I will stay over. So I wouldn't think we'd lose that many. There might be the odd one who say, no, I'm not travelling. But if he wants a red X3 with a pan roof,
he's going to have to come, isn't he?
Yeah. He's going to have to travel somewhere for it, yeah. But yeah, I would say I don't think we'd lose many sales with a travel sort of thing, you know. I think if somebody wants that car, they're willing to jump in the train and have a ride up, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're just off the A1 and you've got Durham train station there as well, so East Coast Main Line. You're absolutely... It's not the end of the world.
No.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world for it.
Sorry, you know when you price the vehicles, do you pay much attention to the price markers, the Auto Trader? Or
Depending on what it is.
Have you ever high price or not?
Yeah, I say majority of my stock sits at fair to high.
Fair to high. So you'll have the high label next to it.
Yeah. But the car, if we don't seem to have any issues with the car warranty, as in spec wise, upgraded wheels, or if it's got a certain trim, or if it's got the pan roof, you know, and they will pay for it. Yeah.
And it doesn't put them off because it says this car's overpriced by $4,000 or whatever.
We have the conversation, and they say we have seen one, I don't know, $2,000 cheaper, and I said, send us the advert. They send us it, and say it's not the same car. They're not comparing apples to apples, you know. Theirs isn't Nardo grade. It hasn't got the pan roof. It's sat on the smaller wheels, you know. The history isn't right, so we can always warrant our price. Yeah.
Well, having the confidence and justifying it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mon, do you think getting it up into the sort of cars that you're doing now, in comparison to back in the days when you were, bidding against me and costing me money on insignias and what have you, do you think, not getting that digging, do you think it's harder? Do you think it's harder? The customers are harder. Like, you're seeing there, you're having to go the extra miles for certain things. Whereas, like a 999 Focus, it's pretty sort of chalk and cheese, isn't it? It's in and out, no messing about.
It all falls back to your buying. Just make sure you're buying the best you can, Make sure it's got 2 keys. Make sure it's got correct history. It's had certain things done in its service history, like, I don't know, DSG services done on time, things like that. Just everything to back up your car, really. Make sure it's prepped the best you can prep it.
But in comparison to back in the day, I mean, if you're bidding against me, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was that flat out. I didn't even look at cars that had services. I wasn't bothered. It's an Insignia, it's in silver, or it's a Focus, it's in black. I'll have it. Just put my hand up. And you must have been the same because you were bidding on that many cars. They didn't all have, they didn't all tick the boxes.
No, definitely not.
So I'm just looking now, thinking like the comparison. Was it not easier back then for you? Do you not feel as though you're spending?
I find it was a lot easier. I could
go to a lot easier, wasn't it?
I would do maybe, I don't know, Brighouse on a Monday morning and fill a wagon, by dinner time, you're on your way back home.
Yeah.
Newcastle on a Tuesday, you can go and buy 4 or 5 easily.
Yeah.
For the size of the pitch we had. So half the time back in the day, I didn't even look at the catalogue before I went. I would just turn up and just see what there was on the day. Just turn up and go,
right, where's Stephen, where's Scott? See what they're looking
just
at.
Follow them around,
I'll just follow them.
But, some days I wouldn't even look at the catalogue. I would just turn up, and just see what we could put our hands on the day,
Just a lot of it got cut out the customer.
Yeah, the customer's expectations have changed massively, haven't they?
Definitely.
So much more informed.
Yeah.
So your people who are selling the grand cars are probably like they're the ones that are probably getting like a load of hassle now, kickbacks all the time.
Yeah. But it's fine with some of this stuff. Going back to the cheaper stuff, like somebody turning up your pitch saying spending $5,000 on something, they've actually got $5,000. Some of this heavier stuff, the customer hasn't got $5,000. They've got £500 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But it's definitely tough. The customer expectations are a lot higher now than what they've ever been. I think it just
huge.
A lot of it's down to, again, back to social media. What they see in front of them on the phones, they like with all this AI stuff, they make your car look brand new. And they turn up and they expect it to be brand new. We get a lot of comments because we don't use AI. We photograph outside the showroom without any in the background, and we get a lot of comments. People, it's what I expected. There's nothing hidden or what have you. It does work for us.
Some of those AI photographs a lot of the trade are using, some of them are awful, and they've got like awful like shadows under it looks like they've just like stuck the car against the image,
stuck on a screen.
It just looks awful.
And to be honest, I'm guilty. We've been using them for a while. Ours look better than most, like if I'm honest, but they still don't look great. But the reason we've done it is just for quickness, and we don't have anywhere nice to take the photographs, But now that we've got this guy and he's taking them a little bit further afield and making sure it's right, But I do agree, like the AI stuff. I mean, it's not there yet. It doesn't look great yet.
I thought yours were good though, Stephen. Yours were better than
they were better than most. But
some are terrible.
But some of them are shocking. I've seen some shocking ones. Really bad ones.
There's some that just looks. It makes the car. It just doesn't out for the car. And then you can have all these glossy photos, a bit like what we're seeing. But then if you turn up to the dealer and the dealer doesn't really match the fancy, pictures, or the people going to turn around. Because when I had my photo booth up at Bedlington, and I jumped on that quite early on. I'd only been in the job for 3 years, and we put the turntable in, and I think there'll be loads of times we were on the phone to customers, and they're, we'll come to see a car, and they just didn't turn up. Those stacks didn't turn up, and where we were based on the corner, buried in the industrial estate. And the industrial estate's rough, like it's not even a nice industrial estate. I think people would just drive in there and think, what a place this is. I'm not going to buy a car from around here. And they'd be away. And we had so many no-shows, and I think that would be the reason for it. The
thing is, though, it's a shame because when you actually got it was a dump, that industrial estate. It's not nice. But what you'd actually done inside it was lovely inside. If they've actually walked into it, they can, this place.
Yeah. But if I'd known, we should have data captured them, rang them, and used and then rang, why aren't you coming, and so on, and maybe he's got a feel for it. But the amount of no shows we had was a lot, loads. And I think it was because of that, like.
Yeah.
Thing is, as well, your forecourt now, it's a digital forecourt. It's not how your forecourt looks outside. It's a digital forecourt first, isn't it? How people see you online,
Yeah.
And then I think if it looks well online, and then that doesn't match. When you turn up to collect the car, it's like, well, hold on, what's going on? Yeah, this isn't the place I thought I was buying a car from.
You sort of put the customer on the back foot before you even started.
Sounds like online dating and catfishing.
It does. No, I think yours, Martin, because you've got a nice little showroom front at the front, haven't you? It looks nice. And I think yours looks ideal because people turn up and then they turn up and they see what you show them online is what they're getting.
You have a bit of confidence in you, I think. When you turn up and it's exactly what you've seen, it's exactly what you spoke to them about on the phone. you're not hiding anything, and they come and say, oh yeah, so they remember it from the pictures when they arrive. They can see that's where the car was, the car's over there, next to the buildings photographed against. It's just adding on a little bit help, with the customer.
Martin, obviously, we've been cracking on an hour now, and it's absolutely sweltering in this office, and I know Martin's next door thinking the same. So we're not going to natter on for much longer because I need to douse myself in water. But before we do go, you mentioned before you had something in your notes to ask Scott. Is there anything that you want to ask us that you want to discuss? Or
it's for all of you, really. I mean, where do you foresee the job in the next sort of 5 years? Where do you think we're going to be?
I think personally that we'll go even more away from likes of Auto Trader, and we've mentioned it before, into the social channels, and I think people will be employing their own media teams, like people to photograph cars, people to video cars, people to be a presenter of a vehicle. I think there'll be a lot more live experiences online. So people selling cars on TikTok live, people selling cars on YouTube live. And I know everyone sits here and thinks about it, and when you hear about it, you think, you're talking stupid, don't be ridiculous, but I'm telling you, it's coming.
It changes so fast now.
The world is changing, and the motor trade, which has been traditionally something that's sort of stagnated behind other industries, I think it's always been a bit, 20 years ago, it was like 50 years old still, it's never really caught up with the times. I think eventually the motor trade has got to a point now where there's some good people in it, and it's jumping on the bandwagon,
hasn't it?
Trends, and it's rolling, and I think
it's getting momentum faster. I think now once you could sort of judge the job by seasons even, but now it changes so fast. And
I think the people that aren't with it and up with the modern technology stuff and trying new things are going to get left behind. I think now's the time. You mentioned AI. I mean, I think personally some of this AI stuff isn't there yet, but it's coming. It's going to be there. I think if you're not playing around with it now, you're going to get caught out. Because I think there'll be a business in 5 years' time that solely sells cars using AI. They'll probably not have any staff somehow. And that's where I see it going. It's just getting more social, more digital, more use of AI, just not look the same. It'll be totally different landscape for me.
I
think it'll be proved wrong because I do, I do miss, 10, 15 years ago, it was a lot simpler times, and going to the auctions and having a cup of tea with the lads and things like that. I think that's just all going to be gone.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. That's how we see it. I think it's not going to go back over, is it? It's moving forward at such a fast pace now. Like, I don't think we'll be able to be selling cars without using the likes of AI and things like that in the future.
Yeah, as well as if you think every age sector has got their own. Like, I mean, obviously we're 40 odd or whatever. We're in the Facebook era. There was the Instagram era. There's the TikTok era. Snapchat. There'll be another one in 5 years' time that hasn't even been developed yet. It'll be on the cards now. And and that generation will come through with that one, and then that, it'll skip into the next one.
Man, a few weeks ago, my 13-year-old Will, he says to us, I says, "Oh, are you not on Facebook yet?" Like, Will, and he went, "Facebook? How old do you think I am?" And I was like, And I remember when Facebook first coming out, and it was like this newfangled thing, and like, everyone has to be on it. And now, like, you're an old fogey, you're on Facebook. Oh,
exactly.
On Facebook.
It's TikTok now, isn't it?
It's TikTok and it's Snapchat and all these ones. It's mad, absolutely mad.
There'll be another one soon.
That's where it's going.
And it's crazy because it's free. It's free for us to use.
It's free, yeah. You're right. You're right. Well, Martin, obviously, because you have been watching the shows, you probably know what's coming. We'll ask everyone this, but if you could give some advice to an aspiring car dealer, someone that wanted to follow in your footsteps, what would it be?
Oh, I think it's been probably repeated a few times, but just get to know your product. Just get to know what you're selling. Don't just dive into something because it's cheap. Just do your homework with it first. And I think having good people to work with makes the job so much easier. Having someone to give you a second opinion on something, or maybe guide you in a different angle. But yeah, just don't bite off more than you can chew. Be prepared for it to maybe take over your life, really, because if you're successful at it, it's a lifestyle, not just a job. Like It's what we do every day, from morning till night. It's not just a job, it does take over your life.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Be prepared for it, yeah.
It's not an 8-hour day, is it?
No,
Definitely
it's not.
No, definitely not.
Right, Martin, I'd like to thank you for coming on, mate. You've been a great guest. Really appreciate it. Absolutely fantastic. Just for the audience, if you all managed to get the end of this pod like the rest of them, make sure you do. Please like and subscribe. Put that notification bell on to see more dealer pods, and make sure that, because obviously we've left the link in the description, that you sign up. If you're a member of Dealerway, make sure you sign up for the new Dealerway WhatsApp group. And that's it. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, everyone. Thanks, Martin.
Great, thank you.
Cheers.
All right, thanks a lot.
Lovely, thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, man.